Good morning, everybody, and happy Crimbo. Welcome to another horrific unboxing. So thought I'd get this done early. Most of you are probably still asleep. Other parts of the world, UK, everyone's like waking up and going, "Oh God, here we go." Well, happy Christmas, Yule, Hanukkah, all that good stuff. Whatever you're celebrating, hope you're enjoying it. Just thought I'd get up early and do this here. Santa's been, so got a few DVD box sets, Blu-ray box sets, which is always cool. And I thought I'd share them with you because who doesn't love some cheesy horror stuff? So kind of went old school. Kind of dropped a few hints to the family, like just want cheesy stuff. It's harder when you get older, I think. When everyone in your family's adults, you're kind of just going through the motions, just exchanging stuff. So it's nice to kind of drop it. You don't have to say, right, give me this. But there you go. So first out, we have Leprechaun. Oh, check. I'll take that off in a second. We have the Leprechaun series. These have actually been appearing online, but not all of them. There's a few of them started appearing on Amazon and got me interest piqued. I remember watching these, think they were cheesy as hell, and then you develop a kind of love for them as time goes on. I think it was Warwick Davis's rhyming sort of talk. Can get a wee bit old, but they changed it up a bit in some of the later movies. So we actually used dialogue, and that made it kind of fun. So, sorry, just OCD, you know how it is. Don't make a mess. Already all my rapping and stuff's already in the bin. So here we go, the complete set. As I said, I prefer now. Yeah, you can look for stuff streaming, but nothing beats having the physical copies and going now rather than buying new releases and having loads of I want collections, I want special edition stuff. So all nicely done. So okay, got the first one. If you're not familiar with this series, came out in the 90s, I think. Came out in the early 90s. First one was with Jennifer Aniston. God, she was young in this. She was only like 18 or 19. I think this might have been one of her first roles. The idea is this family moved into a house, found some gold. Don't know, I can't remember if they found the whole pot, but they found the gold, and basically if you'd steal a leprechaun's gold, he'd come after you. It's horror comedy. This one was a bit more on the horror side. And I just call that, it's not Leprechaun 1, it's just Leprechaun. I don't know if they were expecting this to become an entire franchise, but it kind of did. Plenty of guts and gore and sort of cheap laughs. What else do you want from comedy horror? It does exactly what it says in the tin. This was the weird one. Leprechaun 2, excuse me. So they originally set it in Ireland, and somebody made a pact with a leprechaun for untold riches, and basically what he wanted was the guy's daughter's hand in marriage as payment. He reneges on the deal. He traps him in a tree, and then somehow the tree the leprechaun lives in, or was trapped in, gets uprooted and taken over to, I think it was New York. Obviously, bloody plastic panties causing trouble again. But yeah, it ends up there, and then he goes after the great-great-granddaughter or something, that claims his wife. Really, like I said, really strange one. Still a lot of fun. Then we have, this third one, yep, Leprechaun. Sorry, this is super dark. And if we go towards the camera too much, and it was all kind of the same theme with the images. That's better. Turn it that way and you can kind of see it. This is one set in Vegas, I think. Begins Rain Terra Scott, a young college student, has a run of bad luck in Las Vegas while at a pawn shop. Discovers one of the leprechaun's gold coins, which grant the fool's wish. The fondest wish. Yeah, so he has a coin wishing weird stuff happens. Warwick Davis, obviously leprechaun character, comes back to life, and they're just flipping This is one of the cheesy video how to beat a leprechaun, to do it like cartoony type stuff. To be honest, is one of the funny. This I think was the funniest one, the Vegas, because a leprechaun. If anyone's been to Las Vegas, you understand. Somebody walking around in a leprechaun outfit would not stand out, so you just kind of embraced. And there's a team with him and like an Elvis impersonator, which is quite cool. So he doesn't just. I think what it is about this, he isn't the like rampaging, mindless killer. And I think as these films progressed, he started giving a bit more of his personality into the role and having fun with it, which, what else do you want? Yeah, and this Vegas one, some of the kill scenes, brilliant. I think this is my favourite one of the entire franchise, if I'm honest. Let me know what you think, but yeah, definitely really enjoyed this one out of the whole lot of them. I think the first one was just the intro, they were testing the idea. 2 was a bit strange, but the third one definitely the best. And then we'll have the cheesiest of them all, Leprechaun 4, Leprechaun in Space. It's not a horror franchise unless they end up in space, let's be honest. Jason's done it. Hellraiser's done it. The Cenobites have done it. Critters obviously have done it because they're from space. Yeah, let's go in the comments. Who else has been to space and who needs to go to space in terms of horror franchises? Because here's the thing with the long running ones. Eventually, they don't be scary anymore. The idea is done and it's tested. And you don't get frightened anymore or jump scares. So you have to do something else with it. And the long-standing ones that don't get run into the ground are the ones that evolve and understand that. Nightmare on Elm Street, by the third one, realised, yeah, Freddy's not scary anymore. It would just be a repeat of the tropes. So it became like horror comedy with the wisecracks and that. So it became more about, Robert Englund's performance. And that's what kept fresh, kept the franchise fresh, and why I have so many spin-offs and why it's still an endearing character. Friday the 13th, by part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, they understood, yeah, it's just a hulking brute, so what else can you do with it? So they brought the comedy aspect in it, and then love it or hate it, Jason X, so much fun, and just embraced the cheesiness, but it kept the franchise alive, gave it something fresh, something new to play with. Halloween, there's a dead franchise. There's just got the backside ripped out of it and could go nowhere else, wouldn't evolve, just get over the same tropes, and then just fizzled. And I don't think anybody, there'll be a lot of chatter online, but fucking who cares about random online people? It's actually people who are prepared to go to cinema, pay the money, or rent it, or buy box sets. I, for one, won't be, because I have no interest, after that last one, I have no excitement for anything else that franchise might bring. So there's an example of things that don't evolve, don't read the audience, don't understand how you can have, evolve a character, have fun with it. I think, and this is the last one, Leprechaun 5, In the Hood. This one was all right. It fell. Who was it? You see him, he plays the antagonist. Ice-T. I like Ice-T and a lot of stuff. He's actually a really good actor. But my problem with the whole gangster rap thing is the guys take themselves too seriously. And especially American rappers, a lot of them just can't debase themselves enough because they're full of ego and a persona. They can't make fun of themselves. It's all the taking yourself too seriously thing. They just can't do it. So it doesn't translate too well. And this was a fun one. And Ice-T did try. He was like the antagonist. The whole point is that they discovered something happened. I thought there was 2 of these in the Hood. I thought there was Back to the Hood or something. After long golden... hang on, let's have a wee read. After long golden dormancy, the leprechaun is brought back to life by three bungling rap artists looking to launch their music career. Yeah, there's one. I thought there was two of these. I thought that like part one, like in the hood, back to the hood. I could be wrong. I need to look that up. But this one, yeah, Ice-T's character is actually looking for the leprechaun because he has in his stash a golden flute, which mesmerizes people, and that's how he became like a super mega star and then became like a rap producer. But he acted like a gangster, which not weird. But he's the antagonist, so you can expect he's not going to be a big person. He's the antagonist in this. Apart, because the thing is, with a lot of these movies, the Leprechaun series, just give the bloody leprechaun his gold back. Job done. See ya. It's when the morons are like, I'm keeping this, and then people are getting murdered. Like, oh right, this is yours. I do apologize. Have it back. See ya. No harm, no foul. But nobody gets that. But yeah, this was the three protagonists in this. I didn't really feel their characters, if I'm honest. That was the only shame. They were kind of the weakest part of this. The three sort of bumbling, trying to be artists, and the guy who want to do positive. And he's actually making fun of the genre, but making fun of them by extending the stereotypes. I want to be positive, but the stuff's so weak. It's like Christian rock. The abomination of all music is Christian rock. And fluffy rap, I think, goes into that same category. The whole point of rap and as close to like metal stuff is there's emotion behind it. And I think that's what gets people involved. It's a form. I'm not a massive rap fan, by the way, but I appreciate where it's coming from. There is like strong emotion and feeling behind the lyrics, apart from the mainstream stuff, which is just trite. Like every time you hear an MTV beef, it just makes me cringe because it's manufactured and fake, and they do it in metal too, and they do it in pop, and it's the same shite, and the people that are doing it. If you've really got a problem with someone, go and fucking duff them up. You don't need to be bitching on camera, back and forward. If you go and have it out with them, get in the ring or something. No cameras, just sort it out. Job done. I don't get the whole me thing. But then again, I'm a bullshit Belfast lad, so we kind of don't deal with things that way. That's probably why the rest of the world has a problem with us going, oh, you're real mad. But hey ho, we are what we are. But yeah, that's a cool one. So that is, I believe, the entire series, apart from that one. I'm not actually. Do you know what? I'm live. I don't care. Let's do a wee Google Matizer. And let's see what it brings up, because I am convinced there's another one. Leprechaun horror movie. How old is... That's the first one. All right, here we go. (1993) it first came out, so it's 4-film collection. No. Sorry about this. This is super professional, but I wasn't expecting to. Oh, the community type. Good. Films, Leprechaun 3. Yeah, there is. Oh, we've got another 3. God, that's not even right. So another 3 of these. I knew there was another one. So there's Leprechaun Back to the Hood, coming in 2003. Leprechaun Origins. Have I seen that? And Leprechaun Returns. Yeah, so I've got the third. So this is the first 5 movies. There's another 3. I knew there was another one. I'm sitting scratching my head going, no, there was Can't remember. It's been so long since I watched these. Sorry, I do apologize. I'm telling a lie. I watched Leprechaun in Space and Leprechaun in the Hood recently on streaming, and then that's what got my head to get the box set. So I'm going to have to pick up these other three, definitely, and just to complete the collection. But yeah, they're fun, absolutely fun, bonkers series of movies, and don't worry about continuity or lore. It's just like, let's have a laugh. Right then, what have we got next? A bit more grim and serious. I'm going to take the plastic off first before we do the camera thing, because as you know, it's like shiny and you can see anything. So let's do that. Fizzle. Better. Anyone's got kids right now, that's all I've heard this morning is fizzle with wrapping paper. Right. We have the Omen trilogy. I actually used to have the books of the series. There's actually 5 books in the series. And it finishes. These are the original. What have we got? We just got. Yeah, it's just basic Blu-ray set, which is cool. This is one of the cornerstones of horror, I think. If you're not familiar, effectively it's the birth and rise of the Antichrist in Christian mythology, which interesting for Christmas Day, but there we go. Damien Thorn. What they did was, if I remember the first one, they actually swapped the Thorn's baby with Damien, so it's almost like the Changeling or Cuckoo in the Nest type of affair. And then the part of the satanic cult work towards protecting Damien and bringing him to fruition. The first one was cool. It's an iconic. It's 1970 something. This come out. Sorry, my new lighting setup. It's fantastic for this, but trying to read stuff, not so good. So I'll make it. I know I could just do white light, but that's boring. Did this come out? Can't remember, but the first one, Damon is a wee child. We're seeing the Thorn family. We're seeing the discovery of because whenever they try to do a move, it goes against them, and somebody gets killed, and people try to discover them. There's a sect of the, of course, there's a sect of the church, a secret sect that's out to discover the Antichrist and put an end to him. And there's special daggers. I think there's 5 of them. 5 special daggers, the only thing that can kill the Antichrist. And then they go through it, and then eventually the father discovers, because this is where the number of the beast, apart from the Iron Maiden album, of course. I think it's come out before the Iron Maiden album, but the whole idea of the number of the beast, 6, 3 score and 6, 666, became so iconic in pop culture and modern culture. It's because of this movie. Because he had the 666 actually on his head. And the way they actually did it, and you think about when this movie was made, was so good. Like the effects and doing it on a wee kid, like a wee kid that plays Damien in the first one, brilliant. Like he's just a kid, but this was like he's getting grabbed and stuff and dragged around, about to get killed at the end, and he's not really fully understanding what he is, but he senses it, and it's not him. That's the beauty of it. It's not actually him causing it. It's his acolytes who are preparing him, because he's come to Earth as a human baby and a young boy, but he's not actually carrying out the action. So it's not your typical demon child. There's a bit more in depth to it, and that's what makes this such a good movie. Omen 2 falls on a few years after the events of the first one, and we've now got Damien Thorn as a teenager, and he's in a military academy school, and he's still not aware of who and what he is. that's kind of on the play with us, and it's really good. Yeah, so it's the same sort of beats that people are watching him, protecting him, and then there's obviously the church is trying to destroy him, putting an end to him, and then this all comes to fruition. And what happens is he discovers who he is, and he's in denial. So it makes an interesting character arc. You know, he's a teenager, 16, 17, whatever, and he's in denial of what he is. So he's perfectly human response. And then we'll see him at the very end accepting who he is. And that's the turning point of the character. Then the third one, the final conflict, we'll have, actually it's played by Sam Neill's. I think it's one of Sam Neill's best performances. We have Damien Thorne, fully fledged, fully embraced himself as the Antichrist, and fully carrying out his work. And this is the one, normally trilogies, the third one's normally pants. And when they're just going, but this is a complete storyline. And the third one is him, Damien Thorne, the Antichrist, actually carrying out his will. And we'll see this. And then the whole point is the second coming, it's the second coming of Christ to battle him. And then it's him, like the church was trying to put an end to him, come to fruition. Then it's him trying to put an end to the second coming of Christ. And it's really well told. Even if you're not a Christian, this is a good story. And this is what I've said before about horror. Horror can take beats from any religion, any folklore, any culture. And this is what's embodied. And this is why I hate SJWs, because they're only about division. And horror has been around before these idiots have been. And horror has been embraced in the world and cultures and telling stories and utilizing the stories. A lot of them are pants, but there's some fantastic series like this. Really good. And yeah, we'll see this all come to fruition. Now, they made a fourth movie. Like I said, I'd originally had the books, and there's 4 and 5. And 4 and 5 is like a continuation, but it was a bit of a weak continuation because, spoilers, after Damien Thorne's dispatch, he had already procreated. But the second Antichrist, which kind of, so they have him as a body that goes into human. It's weird the way they told the story, but the second one rises more rapidly than Damien because he's actually brought up by the cult, which he had cultivated. So even though he dies, his son is born and he takes over the mantle, and he actually comes close to creating hell on earth, if that makes sense, in the books. The fourth movie was weak. And it was a bit of a misdirect because it brought it out, what was it, 6-6, so it was 6th of June 2006, I think it was, 666. They brought the part 4 out. And the market is really terribly. They did the whole, this is one of the first, it's a girl, and nobody gives a toss. But they tried to make a thing about it and put people off, but the storyline was actually different because she wasn't the Antichrist, actually. She was a protector. But the problem is, without part 5, and I think because of the way they market it, and this is where the coming up to people say, what was it? When they started this stupid marketing thing of calling people bigots and stuff, they tried it with a horror franchise, which is just the wrong crowd. Just the wrong crowd to deal with. Because, like I said, we've always been weirdos. But they tried it with that, with part 4. They didn't really explain, like if I had said this is a continuation and based it on the books and used that as their marketing campaign, it would have worked. But because they did we're gender swapping and you're a bigot if you don't watch it, and they told a weak storyline, and it wasn't actually, it was just a misdirect, it fell flat in its face. So there's no idea what they were doing with it, and they could have told the 2 stories or split them into another trilogy, and that would have been fine. Because there's enough in those 2 books to make it, translating into film to make another trilogy. And this time, instead of it being Damien Thorne, this is the whole realization, the journey, and Damien Thorne becoming the Antichrist and being completely unaware, to discovering, to fully embracing. This is a complete character arc. I can't remember what you called the son in the books, but he effectively starts off square one as the leader of the cult, and it was really good. And it was like a full-on conflict. Like there's no mess about it. There's no. This is a lot of smoke and mirrors and behind the scenes, but by the time the fourth one comes on, it's full tilt and it's a cool story. But there you go. That's that one. So I'm looking forward to revisiting these. And like I said, the only thing about the older movies, obviously, the effects. That's the only thing that might seem a bit cheesier, the special effects. But you have to get past that. If you're just looking for shiny stuff, and that's the problem, you look how soulless movies are today with computer-generated effects. You know what it is. The magic's not there. Just get past that, and you actually enjoy the story. You have a really good time. And finally, last box set, but take off the shinies. Yeah, I could have done this before, but I want to actually do some unboxing. Do you know what I mean? Give me a wee minute as well. Get on my thoughts while I'm doing this. But, I think this is one of the franchises that wrote me into horror as a kid. In terms of like mainstream, like I started with the Universal monsters, like probably most people did, and I think this is one of the earliest horror franchises, sci-fi horror. Critters, you gotta love these guys. The Krites. It comes across as if they're no, even the first one. They're not mindless eating machines. They've got intelligence. And I think it's the first time with a monster, you actually see them having conversations with each other in their language. It's done sporadically, but still, you get the idea. This is a thinking creature. And that's what completely changed everything. But, oh God, this is 80s-tastic. Sorry if you think 80s movies are battled. The terrifying and tiny nemesis are out in full force with this 4-film collection packed with enough special features to make any fan's mouth water. In Critters, the terrified Brown family are trapped in a deadly nightmare and must fight for their lives against a litter of extraterrestrial, bloodthirsty monsters. It's a losing battle until two intergalactic bounty hunters arrive. Oh my God. Excuse me. These two are absolute class. Some eggs have survived and are Critters 2. Some eggs have survived and popping open, bring another horde of the little creatures. Brad Brown returns to fight them along with 3 bounty hunters. Stars Leonardo DiCaprio as Josh. Didn't remember that. Oh, there we go. A beleaguered Angelino who must lead the fight against the little monsters as they invade an LA apartment building. The final film, that's up Critters 3. They go to an apartment building. Then in the final film, fight against the little monsters. A super strain of genetically engineered monsters are designed to take over the universe. This time, Brad Dourif and Angela Bassett must battle the little bloodthirsty herbal. I thought there was another one. I thought there was another one with actually. But right, let me explain. In the 80s, the most engaging posters were the horror ones, and this is the back of the day of VHS, and then what became DVD rental. This was kind of the style. Like they didn't mess about. It was actually painted. You know, it was actually concept art and painted. And they were always the ones that drew you in. Like if you have your generic rom-coms and stuff, but they're bland. Your action movies are meh. But the horror posters, I really regret not collecting them. If I was a smarter kid, I would have made a rapport, had a bit of a rapport with God, it was Norman and Craigie Library. God, he ran that store for years. I can't remember who it was in the stock library, but the two that were close to me, independent ones, them had the franchise chain Extravision. That was kind of the UK's blockbuster. But you had loads of independent ones, which was brilliant. And of course, your membership, you had your little membership cards. And as a kid, you thought you were grown up, but the horror posters are the most engaging. They really are. And the concept and the art that goes in them, just brilliant. And that was growing up. And you saw them in the walls when you're going up like the one I went to, you went up the stairs. And so you went up this little flight of stairs, and all the posters were on the, on the corridor on the way up. And then obviously the new release was just behind when you turn around, just behind. Really well done. And then you went in this little cave of DVD stuff, and it was just great. Woodstock Road Video Library, it was just an open shop, but still, what you had, you went in, you had all your generic stuff and your new releases. Then over to the right was a little corridor, and that was on one side was the horror, and the other side was the porn. And it was always fun. It was like go through it. It wasn't a curtain, it was just like a little corridor they made out on the side. But as a kid, it was great. You went and and nobody gave it to us. See this taking ID and stuff. You just went and rented. It didn't matter whether it was 15 or 18 or what. You just went and rented. Thing. Obviously, the porn stuff you didn't. That was kind of where the line was drawn. But yeah, go and get a horror movie. I remember bringing this to the youth club. That's how gnarly the 80s were, that nobody gave it to us, and I'm perfectly fine. We actually brought Critters. Brought the first one to youth club DVD because you had like a TV room and people put one in and sit and watch it in a youth club where the school teachers were, someone volunteered to stay to do the youth club on was it Tuesday night? It was a Tuesday night. Yeah, there you go. Now everyone's like covered in cotton wool and everyone's miserable. So people might say that we were off the cuff and stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm a reasonably happy person. Yeah, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and it only pisses me off, as you know. But I'm generally a happy person. You see these miserable bastards today, and you wonder who had the better upbringing. Just put it out there. Every wee shite now, like in their 20s, are miserable. They're like freaking 70-year-old grumpy grandpas and hate the world and hate themselves and hate everything. You're like, relax. Well, there you go. That's what I've got today. Yep. Critters 2. So you can kind of see they're not worrying about continuity. I think they're just like, okay, people like this one. Let's get the next one out. This is the one where they form themselves into the giant ball and just, oh god, it was just so daft to go around and people just get. Excuse me. First, they destroy the town. Then first they destroy the farm, and they terrorize the town. Oh, excuse me. Now they're ready to do some real damage. You are what they eat. All these cheesy slogans, and if you look up the old trailers and stuff, just so much fun. Critters 4. This is the one in space. Critters 4. Now they're invading your space. There is another one. They made another one. Definitely. Critters. Oh. Critters Attack. Is that a Critters film franchise? Yeah, there was a fifth one. Critters Attack, done in 2019. And this would have had a good one. TV movie, right? I knew there was another one. Kind of, yeah, they had like white one. It's almost like the Gizmo character. Yeah, they had like the Gizmo character of, kind of ripping off Gremlins a bit. There's another fantastic. There's only 2 movies. I'm surprised I didn't rip the bag out of that one. Yeah, Gremlins. First one brilliant, and then the second one became a parody of the first. Some great ideas, but then kind of ruined it with the characters because they went too cheesy. But there you go. A couple of nice little box sets to add to the collection. And like Chris said yesterday, maybe I'll do a Boxing Day boxing video and just put them all back in the box, because yeah, if I could do that right, that would actually be funny. But who knows, right? So what about? I'm gonna eat a lot, drink a lot, get in touch with the family, some of my friends, do all that kind of stuff. Still early in the morning here, so I'll do all the UK stuff, and then later on I'll do my friends across the pond, catch up with them guys. I'm going to finish off watching it. I started last night. I was surprised by the 90 when I rewatched the 90 series being so long. It's a completely different beat and closer to the book than the second one, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. I'll stick that stream up. What else? Hope you have a great day. Enjoy yourselves, spend time with your families, do whatever it is you do. Just enjoy yourselves, enjoy the holiday, decompress, get ready for the back to the grind again when it starts. Make the best of the time you have. Let me know what you think of these franchises. Let's hear your thoughts. Be interesting. Get a conversation going. And remember, as always, do the typey clicky things. And until next time, keep it creepy, keep it horrific.